Reserve time. Reserve time. Reserve time. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Volker. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Volker. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Slark. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Volker. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Slark. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Volker. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Slark. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Volker. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Slark. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve time. Volker. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Slark. 10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve 5 seconds remaining. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Slark. 10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve 5 seconds remaining. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Slark. 10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Reserve 5 seconds remaining. Reserve 10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Many times they have tried to get themselves to a Valve Grand Four, coming up short until tonight. Will they be the ones to stop OG, who have a 100% win rate at every grand final of a Valve event they reach? Sind, many times they have tried to get themselves to a Valve Grand
at least. They look
Four, coming up short
in
until
eight
tonight.
matches.
Will they be the ones to stop OG, who have a 100% win rate at every grand final of a Valve event they reach? Sind,
I think you even mentioned
many
that
times they have tried to get themselves to a Valve Grand
at least.
since we go back to TI3 when it went for the full best of 5, and that was also the only grand final which went the whole distance.
Yeah, well, OG definitely have the track record favoring them, but this is not going to be an easy final for them. I think VP looked very scary. I think they have a great draft for themselves in this game. They got their Magnus again, double melee core, great team fight lineup. Good roaming hero for Lil. They have the crowd, 6th player, maybe.
Maybe.
As
Playing
well.
from the bench, I'm sure everyone here is a lot behind VP, especially more than
30
OG.
seconds to battle.
Like, many times as OG who are the crowd favorites, but they'll be fighting against them, fighting against Virtus Pro, and as you said, it's the great team fight, it's the great initiation, it's the great aggression that can be tempered by Virtus Pro that comes out of their draft, and no surprise the panel is leaning towards them as well, but OG is their Terrorblade kind of play. You have S4 on one of his critical heroes, Jirax on the OP King, Anna, who has been an absolute wonder for anyone who's got him in his fantasy team, playing that mid lane. He's been having a superb tournament.
Yeah, OG are on a very comfortable lineup as well. I think this game is It's pretty difficult to say who's a favorite just based on draft alone. I think both teams have different strengths. Just when it comes to raw team fights, so much comes down to who gets the jump. If S4 gets to set up for the Monkey King, they have great team fight follow-up with him and Phoenix and the Invoker. On the other hand, any they have Golem. As I mentioned, the 2 melee cores with high burst damage, both of them, both Slark and Ursa, kill quickly. And the Tusk can be very disruptive in these fights as well. Actually, I think a pretty interesting hero to have against a hero like Terrorblade. Not the fastest hero already, and then you add in Frozen Sigil. I can, of course, also try to catch him off guard with the shards. It's not that easy for Terrorblade as a character to get out of this shard compared to many other heroes that have some sort of mobility, like the Slark they have themselves, or an Anti-Mage with Blink, that type of hero. I like the Tusk here for VP, although it's not something we've seen from them too much this turn so far.
We'll see if the synergy can work for it. For now, this aggro tri lane the Virtus Pro has been running has kept the Monkey King's attention down the bot lane, now forcing Jirax and Lil to kind of this little bit of a roaming maneuver. And that leaves a one-on-one matchup. No one against the Invoker, the mid-Ursa with PMS. And how is this Invoker really meant to do anything against the Ursa, especially when no one's getting this aggressive, continuously pushing into him, trying to keep the swipes up?
I'm pretty sure this lane matchup is unwinnable for Invoker early on. I can't see, like you said, what he's supposed to do. Just going to keep running at him, clapping him, and then hitting him with Fury Swipe. Probably going to need help from the Monkey King at some point here. Speaking of which, bottom lane. It's a damage up.
No one's been forced to run around the tree lines. Invoker actually didn't even level up Colsap because he avoided the point up in Quas. He went for a 1-Wex, 1-X sword at the start here for the Invoker.
Yeah, he needs to like this to reliably last hit.
Don't take this.
See him using all his mana more or less to get this Alacrity running.
Well, he's got 3 CS out of the 10-5 that the Ursa has managed to find so far. This is a very good laning phase so far for Virtus Pro. Even the Slark got a lot on the off lane, and up on the top lane, oh, Pasha, it's been rough for him, but he's still keeping neck and neck with S4 CS.
This is definitely not the greatest matchup you can have your Magnus in, but the early levels, just with Magic Stick, should be fine for Pasha. This mid lane, we might see over here, Lil Shards connecting.
He gets pushed back in again, no one, he doesn't actually have the clap. TP support is forced out, so Jirax will move to the mid lane. But you can feel Virtus Pro looking for that first blood.
This mid matchup, I feel like it's one that was pioneered by the old DC. Weehaw used to play this mid Ursa against Invoker and this type of hero that is a bit slow in lane and take great advantage of it, and no one seems to have been inspired by that. This is an absolute trashing in the mid lane. You were praising Ana going into this thing. He's had a great tournament. He's going to need to come back in this lane. He's down 3-19 in CS 3 minutes in.
Yeah, this is not the dream for an Invoker. If he can get the hand of Midas, then maybe he can start playing catch-up. But for now, it's just avoid dying to no one. Don't escalate the problems in the mid lane, because if they do that and this Ursa gets momentum, Virtus Pro will be having a celebration drink tonight.
A celebratory.
A celebratory, yes, thank you, Cinder.
There it is.
I rely on you.
It's my native language, not yours.
I only speak Australian.
What you came for.
So they switched the lanes up, Virtus Pro. They brought Ramses to the top. So Pasha actually moves himself down the bottom lane. He's had a really good start with the boots already and is looking to just encroach onto that energy booster. And then he can just hold back this bottom lane. 2 points up on the Shockwave. Very difficult for OG to push it out. And that's what we haven't seen really yet from Nortel. He's already burnt the Metamorphosis once, and the damage to the Tier 1 tower is negligible.
S4, he wanted this top rune. This can get scary for him. They're not going to connect. The Firefly was running out, and if they catch him in charge, there is a play for the 2 supports there. But they are stacked up nicely by the Sticky Napalm. So he will get both bounty runes here. And with his bottle, very nice for him, going to be using the Shrine as well. So fairly uncommon that we see Batrider get bottle in the off lane, but S4 is rocking it this game, probably expecting that he will be able to grab this bounty a couple times and play off that advantage.
Is he actually, this is one of the most determined catapults I've ever seen. S4's going to bring it underneath the tower. Bottom lane, Pasha, Nortel and Fly, you've got the Hadouken from the creep. Actually helping them out. I don't know if Fly is purposely planning that, but Pasha remains low. He's still got the escape until Jirax in through the side. Doesn't actually have the stun, but the Sunstrike, the stun will be let out. Nada hits the Money Lord, and that'll help him come back a little bit, down to level 5. And the net worth will also be boosted up. He's now second to the net worth with that kill.
Yeah, this pretty much makes the mid lane even, more or less. Experience looks even. Well, he's totally back in the game. Great connection there from OG. Maybe a bit cocky from Pasha to go for that last hit, and he did have Skewer. Maybe he was trying to bait fly in and then skewer him back, but...
Oh, S4 so low, the leash is there, Ramses. A quick rebuttal on the safe lane. S4 was playing with fire, literally.
Slark is going to get a very fast Midas this game. So. Good for Ana to come back into this game. I think it's going to be very important for OG that they land these Sunstrikes. Their kill potential in the early game is not that great in any of their lanes. Monkey King plus Batrider may have a play, but Slark is such a difficult opponent to bring down. Jerax will find Lil here. One prod from the Tusk.
He's trying to stop the aggressive ward placement of Lil, or at least see if Lil puts it down. Meanwhile, soaking up the experience in the mid lane, because there's no way Ana wants to come back here. He's trying to get as much farm out of the jungle as possible. You still want to have that 9-minute Midas, and he is on the way for that. Maybe a little bit earlier because of that kill.
And it's also very good for Monkey King to get a bit of experience. I feel like this hero has had varying success, and a lot of the time it comes down to whether you manage to get a timely level 6. The Wukong's command will be a very great ability against such a melee-heavy lineup like Virtus Pros with 4 melee cores.
Tusk is looking to engage up on top. If he could find a good position for it, put down a rather defensive ward on the Radiant side of the river, just around the shrine. Not a common one to de-ward unless you're looking at the hill point.
S4 is being spotted here, I think. Actually, I can't talk about it. Now he is.
Yeah, that observe ward, if they cut down one of the trees, they would see a hell of a lot more.
So they will see him rotating toward mid. Not quite sure what they're searching for right now. Trying to get a D-ward, I suppose. Doesn't find anything.
They're still looking for the ward the Tuskar put down. Because they didn't actually see Lil retreat back out, so the only information they had to start with was watching from Jirax's perspective. And that was the Tuskar running next to the Ancients. That's why they put the sentry down, trying to get S4. Just that little bit of extra cash.
Midas complete in 50 gold. A bit of pressure on Fly here in the bottom lane as well from Pasha. There will be a TP coming in again from Terrorblade, who went back to regen up.
His Metamorphosis is coming off cooldown, and Pasha is in a position where he can slow the attack, but thanks to the Observe Wall that's sitting behind the tower on the bottom, OG may feel inclined to again go for the exact same play they did previously. So you bring in the Monkey King from behind, you keep the harassment onto Pasha, and then just jump him for the stun into Sunstrike.
That would be a really good kill now with Metamorphosis ready as well. Should give them the tower.
Jirax, no. He's looking for it. The pounce up. There goes your Sunstrike. No, he didn't get the stun timing right. Tried to actually stun Pasha mid-skewer.
That was an excellent skewer. I'm not sure where he saw Jirax, but had a feeling that it was coming. Still OG, get the bigger objective as it looks. They will be taking the tower. Pasha keeping in as early as possible, but flipping.
Is still a little late. With the catapult behind him, Spride's flying in Jirax. He wants to go for another quick jump. It just creates space more than anything else and allows NoTale to take the T1 tower. The VP, they look for their own tower. Double damage onto the Ursa, beating into the T1 tower in mid, and Ana coming to defend. So is Jirax. Modification will scare off the Hungry Bear.
Ana has recovered very nicely in this game. It's very impressive when you get destroyed that hard early on. That's what a Sunstrike kill can do for you, especially when it's the first blood. Midas is already been used once. Still overall a fairly quiet early game. Only 2 kills, minute 9, but good amount of pressure still being applied. OG taking the first tower. As you said, Ursa doing whatever he can mid with some chip damage.
It's the rest of VP that are getting a lot of space. Ramsey's been taking the stacks while Solo is leeching the experience. It's pushing him up. They're trying to get the level 6s or just even items and levels on their supports. So Tuskar as well as Warlock become the priority, while Slark can just farm in the jungle at his level 8. Not to mention, he's also using his own hand of Midas. So finding that farm. Middle lane, Lasso, out from S4. The jump is coming forward, a long pounce down, but no wonder will he have enough speed to get out of this one. The stun, it's a triple stun out from Jirax. The Sunstrike won't connect. Now in comes Ramses. He was farming the jungle. He wants to find a kill. The snowball, who's Tuskar going for? The RP! Pasha, the perfect timing. Ana, deafening blast, trying to push back Ramses. He's able to actually do it. S4 has a double kill out of it. And they're not done yet, or are they? No one. Phase boots are on cooldown, so he's not going to run over the hill.
this Frozen Sigil is very important to consider. We don't really talk about the ability too much when we're talking Tusk, and it's a bit subtle in the fights, but it makes a very big difference when heroes group up like that. Was a good engage from OG, but this time around I do believe the Sunstrike missed.
It did.
On Ursa. He was turning around to fight, and could have maybe been a slight bit better on the execution there. They don't want to Sunstrike immediately when they go in because they're expecting the Enrage to come off, so well played by Ana to hold it, but then...
With both teams, it ended up being an even trade. Like, OG got 331 gold, and Virtus.pro got 322 gold. So, it was so damn close and meme-filled. Virtus.pro, they found the Observer Ward. OG really wanted to have this for a fight. Jurek just... Yes, he hit the deny. Okay, no money for you.
Good way to be annoying.
OG's getting ready to fight up on top lane. Fly does have that Supernova available. No Tail's got Metamorphosis up. Jurek still shy of his level 6, but S4. No Blink Dagger yet, but you know what he wants. Firefly up, come over the tree lines into Lil's blind spot, and then just lasso him back to Sunstrike. It will connect. So even though Ana is farming up in the mid lane and holding the pressure back, he still is able to get this free gold. And that's one of the big reasons why Ana gets so many points in these series, is because OG help him all the way, especially with heroes like this Invoker. Now you take the tier 1 tower, the money starts rolling in. And VP, where's that aggression now come? You didn't go for the early Vlads on the Ursa. Does he actually get... Because he went for the Blink Dagger. Do you still think about Roshan before you go for a fight with a Blink Dagger?
Roche is a bit tricky right now. You're playing against the Monkey King and the Bat Rider. They have really good vision around that area, so it's not too easy for VP. Surprising to me, honestly, here that Lil was standing next to that tower before they even went on him. I was going to say they probably will just give up this tower because they don't have RP, and OG were already grouped up and in a very nice position. But
here comes the
not
gang.
The case. Yep.
Ana is going to be the one caught out. The Observer was down. They see him clearly. They even drop the rock. Hatred galore for the Invoker.
It's a mid tower as well. Totally worth dropping the rock for such a big kill. No Metamorphosis, no Invoker.
And no fortification to delay things either. So 4-man rotation for this, plus rock. Meanwhile, OG is still trying to get everything they need to fight. The phase boost coming up for Jurek, but more importantly, he's getting a space in the bottom lane to get the Wukong's command up. And that'll make VP a little bit more cautious about the fights. With the Blink Dagger on S4 and Wukong command, VP can get easily zoned when they don't have that RP or that Warlock Golem to drop down and do the counter control on the fight.
The Magnus Blink Dagger is coming up very soon though, so both RP and Skewer will be nice tools for them. And as far as the game is going right now, it looks very even on the graphs. And I think if VP knew that, they were going to be able to build up a lot of passive harm now that Empower is reaching high levels. It's currently level 3. Benefits Mag, Slark, and Ursa tremendously throughout the entire game. And OG will probably keep up the farming pace mainly by virtue of using this conjure image of the Terrorblade. Of course, a lot of the time with Terrorblade, you get a lot of gold without getting too much experience. The illusions are the only ones pushing out.
S4 is on the hunt. He just pinged down saying, I'm fairly certain there is an Observer here. They don't have any, they don't have any detection. Both the supports with no sentry wards, so they can't get rid of the Obs ward, which is why VP understands this is not a fight they want to take. So they let the tier 1 tower fall. That's the last remaining tier 1 tower of Virtus.pro.
And they smoke off. This is the Magnus Blink reveal. Golem is on cooldown, however. But I feel like we have to mention the discrepancy in experience between the cores right now. Clark is level 12 to the levels just 9 of Terrorblade. This is the Midas coming into play. It's the nature of the heroes coming into play. So the gold graph is looking okay, but this experience will keep flowing the way of VP, and all of these passive stats they're getting from leveling up their heroes will play a big role. Keep in mind, OG's lineup is not the greatest at all against Slark in general. So Ramses can have one of these games that he takes over later on, and OG might need to itemize to address this Slark. Something along the lines of a Hex or maybe some serious burst.
Is there a way they can itemize to just add pressure before the Slark hits that late game? If he's going to become unmanageable later on, does this then become one of those timing pushes around the 30-minute mark where OG look to go high ground?
I find it difficult to imagine.
Blink Lasso. Talk about the Slark, drag it back in. Wukong command as well as Sunstrike. Ramp will pounce down. He goes to the Shadow Dance, but S4 keeps right on top of him thanks to the Haste Rune. A very, very fast bat.
Monkey King is so nice against Dark because you can't precast the Dark Pack. You don't get to react because the stun comes out of the trees. And the big pick here for OG. For now, this is going to work, so very nice kill for them, buying more time. It's going to be difficult for OG to end this game early before Slark gets strong. I think they're going to have to address him at some point. That kill definitely helps slowing him down. Later will be a very strong hero.
This Observer Ward sees a lot. Lil and Pasha are running around. And Pasha, he's going to cast the Empower from outside the pit into the pit. Nah, here comes the Forge Spirit. They really want to see Illusion as well. As far as the Firefly up, they see no one low, but remember, there is no lasso. So without that, you're not really going to have much to work with. So they just have to play the distance. Keep in mind, too, Jirak's position. No Wukong command for him either. Another reason why VP probably feel very confident coming in here. They've got their big ultis up.
The Fury Swipe stacks expired on Rakan, so no one lost interest in trying for this. He's never going to find a double damage, and he has a bottle, so they have plenty of time to save this up for a good moment, either to Roche or find a team fight. The line is being drawn here by Fly that he thinks, I'm actually not sure what to make of this line.
Is that a push the mid lane?
Push the mid lane, it might be, but no one's doing it, so. Or this is where the mid lane is.
Sounds like a nursery rhyme.
Didn't really see the movement out of them that line would represent, but now he's going to do it himself. Maybe that was the whole point. I will take care of mid. I got this area. Go farm elsewhere.
VP smoked.
Yep.
Oh, Warlock.
Monkey King.
One of these trees is stacked on the other. One of these trees just doesn't fit in. And Ursa, he triggered his double damage and he really wanted to go in for Roshan. The Terrorblade Illusions just coming to the front lines. S4 still with that Firefly triggered.
They saw Jerax. They saw Jerax.
And they pull him back in. The lasso is out. Fly goes into the Nova. Will the egg pop? Ramses tries to slow him down. The stun from Jerax will do the work. She get a 5-man stun. No! They kill him off just in time. Wukong command controlling on the back when Jerax gets mopped up by Ramses. No more command. No tail. He's got Sunder available. The Ice Wall from Ana is controlling no one, but here goes your RP. It catches out the Terrorblade. He will fall. No one. Not a healthy man. S4 still causing real problems at last attack, allowing Magnus. Pasha gets back to base in the back of his TP. And Ramses will retreat. So a 3-for-3 trade-off. Both these teams going hammer and tongs and coming out even.
Great engage from both of them. They ping out the Monkey King. They saw him jumping onto the tree. Lil pings him. They blink skewer him with mag. So they stun him by breaking the tree first and then skewer him down. Kill him. He did get Wukong's command out, but got killed off pretty quickly after. But because OG got the counter engage at the same time with the Bat Rider, it ended up being an even fight. If OG aren't quick to pounce there, they would have probably just lost the Roche on Monkey King being dead and VP having some decent vision. So very close once again.
Let's have a quick look at that movement. So there it is, the blink, the skewer, the stun. But Warlock couldn't get his ulti off either. S4 has been right on the money.
The Supernova was so close, and that would have been a big win for OG this fight.
Really thought that stun was going to last a little bit longer from Jerax. So it wasn't long enough. But it
so
still
much patience from Pasha here. Yep. Great play all around from everyone. No one.